Filthy beasts, I'll kill the last one of you.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
An orc in love. Ha! When this little chatting face shall liberate the flesh from our...
What's all? Ah, but I see you're as welcome as a glass, so you were... There we are. Ha ha! So, now, it's hard to... Captain Aureus, though. The local commander, Jake, so still a human, and yet I don't quite know what, there's nothing, such to be, but of course, I'm glad once you're there, and with that...
Sects? Undead? Orcs? Well, looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go see that Aureus chap Ahu mentioned?
What fool would trust a two-bit love potion out of a back page circular from youthful gore?
One die, Moira. One die of sorrow.
Blasted orcs have learned how to play with fire!
What if the orcs are sending another fleet?
What a deluge!
Our home. Our livelihood. These bleeding orcs. I can't keep off this place for the life of them. I came in here, slinging fire, with our ship gone. Nothing for it but to get a job. Slim picking. Well, we were merchants, what seems like a moment ago. That was a right stunning...
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
Ha! Knowing him, he drove it straight to the pub and back. Sauce? Here in Sicil? Dah! Of all that cursed hunks of rock to land on. Conrad, madness! Thought we were done with those swampy uglies a fortnight ago. Note, though, that none of them dared to come close to the tide split. A ship's got a soul too, you know. You did a mighty fine thing saving that barge. For those of us raised in crews instead of families, it's kin to saving a fellow man.
Oh, and don't forget yes, sir. As fine a specimen as one of her stock, sir.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Sicil?
Speaking of youthful gore...
Those orcs must be out of their barbarous minds launching an attack on a city where a great wizard resides. Though I'll tell you, the only time I'd consider waging a suicide campaign like that. The name's Conrad, cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across...
He got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthel Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage?
Really? The greatest warriors in Rivellon can't cross a rope?
And don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note.
I don't know how you did that, hocus pocus, but boy, am I grateful. Nothing worse than seeing a fine... I thought the old gal's fate was sealed when the arch-shaman set his fiery gaze on her sails. But you managed to rescue her from a watery grave. Closest thing to a miracle I've ever seen.
No, it is. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Yuthel anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride?
No, it is. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Yuthel anymore?
Speaking of you...
Save that ship all by your lonesome. Quite the feat. If I had the magic touch about me, I'd have lent you my hand too.
About the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for a joyride.
No, it ain't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Yuthel anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore...
Steady, boys. Steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out that door.
Good on you.
I don't know how you did that, hocus pocus, but boy, am I grateful. Nothing...
What does it matter? Day labour's more suited to
I don't know how you did that, hocus pocus, but boy, am I grateful. Nothing worse than seeing a fine vessel like that disappear beneath the waves.
I said to him, I said
All hail
myself,
the rain spirit. That was a fine display of magicianship, it was. Arhu knew what he was doing, bringing in a source hunter, didn't he?
And so what did he say?
well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
All hail the rain spirit! That was a fine display of magicianship it was. Who knew what he was doing bringing in a saucer.
I don't know how you did that hocus pocus, but...
Moo-wee!
Never been homesick a day in me life.
I can't even smell the sea air over this pond.
Size seal, shiver me timbers and sliver me heels. Steady, boys, steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
Halt! These gates are to remain closed to all. Well, I'll be a little red imp's uncle, the Source Hunter. Sorry for the... You can see security's tighter than ever around here since that surprise attack the Orcs did on a fortnight ago. They did enough damage to shake up Ahu and Captain Aureus something fierce. We can only hope to hold back the undead and these left field... I don't think you're quite ready to head out into the wilds to me. Also, a party of 1 or 2 runs the risk of being outflanked and outnumbered. I'll bring some backup if I were you. Of course, the choice is yours, but are you sure you want to venture out? Thank you for heeding my words of warning, Hunter.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
Steady, boys, steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks. I used to see orcs in every shadow when I had too much run. Now, I see them sober.
Steady, boys, steady.
I can't even smell the sea air.
Not so bad, hey? Would be quite a bit better if I could do it in peace. Just making conversation, mate. Mate, he says. We are colleagues, nothing more.
Show 'em all.
Come now, it's just a turn of phrase. Will you please turn your phrases elsewhere? Well, a source hunter. A very hearty welcome to our humble warehouse. Have a look around. And don't mind if I pick your brain about the scooper. I tell you, this gig sure beats getting my toes bitten off by zombies out in the field. We warehouse guards don't have to do much apart from stroll the perimeter. And, of course, every now and again, some friendly folks, like yourself, will wander through here. And nothing beats a pleasant conversation, though my comrade Horatius has quite different opinions on that matter. Have you talked to him? Thinks every man, woman and child who steps foot in this place wants to rob it blind. If I so much as greet a townsperson with a hello instead of a state your purpose, he starts frothing on and on about godly duty and security breach. This Jake business is quite the scandal, no? I myself suspect his wife, Esmeralda, and the butcher. Then again, and you didn't hear this from me, he's going through quite the nasty divorce himself. And there's his children to consider. But I imagine his youngest, Kimberly, won't mind. Never did get on well with her mother ever since. Oh, it's an unparalleled pleasure having a fresh ear around here. Keep your pleasantries to yourself. What are you doing inside? If it's conversation you're looking for, I'd recommend my... As for myself, my job is to protect this warehouse, not shit. That idiot man-child would sooner spend an hour chatting up a thief than a minute arresting him. I only hope he gets transferred out of this warehouse and... even thinking of him turns one into a gabbing.
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. I'm Sergeant Curtius, proud protector of this house of Legion goods. Curtius is my name. The Legion is my calling. This is a storing house for Legion supplies. Perhaps the most important building in the realm, by my and others' estimation. And I, Sergeant...
Hey, stop that!
This place reeks of orc stench.
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning...
I can't even smell the sea air.
You're a source hunter, aren't you? They say you can talk to animals, but
It never ends around here. There's a zombie in my garden.
It never ends.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I,
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repay.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear! I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, so what do you think? Should I
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fry-up. I'm sure this one little fish won't starve the merchant. He should take the fish. Ethics are fine in theory, but nothing would stop me from helping you through a hard time. This man merely holds that same principle. Perfect for a fry-up.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
All right, we'll do it your way.
That's the spirit! Or should I say...
Sir, did you just steal that fish?
No, I paid for it. The merchant just...
You were a witness to this event now? Tell me...
Indeed, he did not. He's a thief and should be punished.
Fine, have it your way.
What kind of monster are you? You
come along quietly. You did the crime.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Heavenly herring!
You! Hypocrites and traitors! I thought sauce hunters were supposed to help the people.
Treasure!
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Come on, you chickens!
Lucky find!
What's this? I found something.
The earth here seems to have been freshly fertilized and aerated.
You can't insult what's not alive to be offended. I say we dig. I'll not only dig up this grave, but I'll bury you inside it too.
No, we'll do as I say.
You step away from the grave.
So ardently did he crave creamy blues and gory reds that he ordered a contest across his realm. Fantastic! Today, I think, a king, the great Sigurd and his rainbow of war machines. It is said, and I have heard from a new elder who is said to have known Sigurd himself.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Well, hello there.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Let's see.
dearest customer, I've never seen an aura so plagued by ether. Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground. Ah, gracious patron, I see your tired eyes looking a bit teary. I've just the potion for that. Or would you prefer a toasty fire spell to dry those vapours?
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Hello, Proportionate. I'm a painter by trade, as you can see, but a cartographer at heart. You might think there isn't an... I travel around Andervale, mastering my craft and finding new subjects to add to my litany of lovely portraits and complex maps. Like this rooster I'm working on now, and the landscape that's...
But if one were to reduce the quantity of skull dust by a percentage... Oh! Horse hunter! Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than... No matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartier specimen, I'm sure the order sent the individual with the next highest... Me? Why, it was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst. A simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who discovered that aging itself can be halted by a single application of Secuta du Glas. Not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Sicile of late. Sorry, but there isn't much work for sailors in a house of medicine. Unless one of them happens to have a secret stash of healing stuff. Certainly, what would you like to know? The counsellor. Terrible loss, that. Though we were hardly more than acquaintances, I knew him to be a devoted civil servant. From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda, were hardly a secret, you know. I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't... I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither controlled nor understood by mere men. Yes. If that's how we're referring to the secretive use of a revolutionary healer. She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of healing, but she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name, and that an abbot... Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to Silverglen to learn that... Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to making difficult medical... I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own... To what do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter?
It's like inexplicable magic.
So, which of you is more deserving of life?
Those men hardly so long for this world. What's taking Tenderfoot so long?
Anybody? Neither of you cares to plead for his very... Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the seven do you think you are? Oh, I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing. But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation. But perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so, and brought him here straight away. Quite the venerable staple of Sicile, Stephen, and recently blessed with his 3rd grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple. and only a few days shy of his last day of work before retirement. Nearly everyone in Sicile is familiar with Grinning Stephen, and, as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family. Yes, a curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly abbot, Loic by name, in the northern town of Silver Glen. He is of a certain... I myself was nothing if not sceptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. But it's strange. The stone is only good for a single use at a time before it reverts to a useless, inert state. It takes time to regain its magical properties, and I guard it cautiously. Don't dither long. These men are slipping ever closer toward the edge with each... What a relief to share the burden of this impossible task. What do you think? Would you... You are? I thank you.
Yes, Boris deserves to experience all the pleasures of life that Stephen...
Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to save one man.
Thank
No,
the seven.
no, this is highly abnormal. What is this? This lightning?
I don't know what I did to deserve it.
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone. Somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible, terrible! By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? Two Rivalonians here? At the end of space? Oh, yes, proper introductions. Zixex, the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was, and is, and hopefully all that is to be. As for how I got here, well, for a historian appointed by the gods, how you got here, though, on such a tiny and rapidly shrinking vestige of space and time, I wouldn't have expected to find a soul. At last, a question I can answer most definitively. I mentioned already that this place is the end of time, ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens, and feast your soon-to-be terrified eyes on the...
I think that imp may be quite mad.
Then we'd better appease him and have a look through the looking lens.
Nothing but rubbish!
Come now, don't be coy. You first, but don't dilly-dally. you saw. Terrifying, isn't... What, the portal? It's quite sprung into life, just like the... You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here is causing the end of those torches. A light! This portal active once more. It cannot be coincidence. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been... It is the void itself. The dragon that is divine. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it goes. The chronic... though I cannot say for certain if it is what... In fact, every last question that ever plagued your noggin might well be answered. But why spoil the mystery? As after you, after you. Oh, what... You first, you first. Yes! Just as I'd hoped. There she is. There it is. Come, don't delay.
And he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
The last chest, the last chest! If you believe yourself worthy of rifling through my ample treasures, I do dare you to prove it! Find my 4 sisters, no more than one in each of the
Could indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who
Astounding! Unbelievable!
You have brought guests, I see.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time that...
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plain? A stone? So... It was a stone that caused the great... Not like this, no. What happened to you is unique in... Never had I experienced something so... contrary to my nature. To weave something up, but yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all?
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, but their likenesses appeared not upon my tapestry. Source hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say. Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Do you see what violence my work has suffered?
Mysteries of all time. Gaps.
It would appear that Starstone transformed...
I see.
Yes. Though I cannot explain why, that if we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all. Indeed you must. though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can unlock the powers within Starstone. Yet we are not the—
Why, of course! That's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone.
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire tapestry will crumble. Even this plane will fall—
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before— He's our most mysterious guest. Are you ready? What'll it be?
I am the last test. I am the last test.
The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow. No, with you searching out Starstone, I believe we'll mend the tapestry in. But you'll need a way to travel between Rivellon and this homestead, won't you? Who wouldn't want to see what— Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport back and forth from the end of time. Just, don't go sharing it around. Off you go, then. You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue here as to how on earth you're related to the end.
Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void. I honestly don't know. But ask her. If she claims—
Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot, wouldn't it just? Would that I had a Starstone just like yourselves. Starstones are, from what I can gather, though, they were once cherished by devious sorcerers whose reign ended long ago. The stones are therefore most likely to be found in the ruins, caves, the lairs of long-forgotten evils. Those are the neither do I, but the mere fact that activated Starstone has set the Weaver of Time weaving again more than implies that this in turn more than implies that you are the Void's natural enemy, for it is you who is setting new events in motion. You who is handing the Weaver new threads. And that which she is weaving is more than an ornament to decorate the shelter plane. It is both history and future history. We may not understand the how yet, but our aim is clear. We shall save creation. Oh, I don't know if I'm more than those things per se, but having been given a divine mission does have its perks. But of course I have a price to pay for something that is priceless. It is so gather those Starstones so that we may know the history that was lost. Know so that we must not repeat what leads us to this dangerous precipice, but to lonesome observing the frontier of creation, surfing the vibrant tide of the eons, always approaching yet never reaching shore. Well, yes, actually. I don't mean to complain. Perhaps you can imagine the profound pleasure it is to have made the Weaver's acquaintance after all. Before you go, Source Hunter, a final word. Once you return to... I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can. Good to see you on the shelter plane. A home away from home, is it not? Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot. The Lady of Time, the Weaver of History. I am your biggest fan.
How welcome you are upon this realm, our most honored guest. I hope you begin to find this place more in the ethereal threads of eternity. Do I record the deeds of the drift of continents through changing seas, the rise and fall of empires, the shift of every grain of sand on every beach? Except, it seems, ask and I shall answer. I am the Weaver of Time, as I have told you. Though my existence is one that falls behind, I am but what I am, and that is task. It is the same for the historian. Perhaps we are one and the same. Task multiplied by 2. Who has made us? I do not know. Am I the beginning? And am I to be the end? Who shall say? Perhaps I am the first thing in creation. Perhaps I am creation. Perhaps I am the creator. Alas, the answers to those questions still elude me. You and Starstone remain the imperfections upon the tap. A hidden answer lies behind this veil of inscrutability, though. For the link between you and the stones reveals that I believe that Starstones will not lead you to new places of wonder only. No. They will also lead to new knowledge. Oh, Hunter. I have no need for company. Like I have no need for air or appetite or affection. All I need, and all I am, is time. And time is running out, unless you remedy its decline. And yet, I do enjoy your companionship, for you may prove to become the cure that will heal my slipping soul. Quite so. Your absence, it should be an impossibility. But no matter where I look, you can. I do not know you, which makes you my one perennial imperfection. But perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Perchance the blemish may be undone, and time can be redeemed. What it is but a seed bereft of sun and water. What it could be, that is what the Starstones will tell us. I reside in another realm altogether. But ever since the end of time appeared in these deep dark skies, I materialized here, as if forced to watch the one thing that is unwatchable. I think that perhaps you can redeem time, because you create time. Indeed, you have set. Know that no longer I did weave. I sat here, at the end of time, and watched on as the void frays the fabric of. But suddenly there was you. You who stirred the life within the stones. New threads emerged, and I began to weave anew. Starstone gives me new strands to braid into the tapestry. And because you give these Starstones, please, seek them so that time may yet be mended. Please, for the sake of all that lives and all that loves, seek them so that the void may yet answer, though its resolution may lie in conception. Where you chronicle, I both chronicle and create. Where you arrive at conclusions, I spin origins besides. That
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the alliance between me and Sir Zigzags, let us turn to the business at hand. Starstone. So it is, and so it should continue to be. For I suspect his foul murder and the plight of dying time are dark webs are being woven around these parts, and it is my firm belief starstones are the flies the sorcerer spiders are trying to catch. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of this. That means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake, for you're bound to stumble upon Stars. While you were being lectured by our friend the historian and the grande dame of time, I snuck into his house and had the advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. And that's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of starstones nonetheless. They lay there, silent and innocent, though bloody murder may have been committed in their name. Don't we all long for a sanctuary where our worldly troubles can be held at bay? But perhaps I speak only for myself, not for... Like any cat worth its salt, though, I deeply cherish a secret refuge unbeknownst to anyone. To be able to repose without a care is such a precious circumstance. Save it all too seldom. Let me phrase it like Zigzags might. A universe without time is like a pen without ink. I'll not pretend to have all the answers, or that I understand all that is happening here and out there among the stars. If Zigzags worries, I worry. We are talking about a creature, after all, that has reclined among the divines as nonchalantly as you and I lays beside the hearth. I met him first, a long time ago, out in the wastes of Youthful Gore. He wondered aloud what on earth a cat was doing out there in the scorching desert. So I told him who I was and showed him my human form. He laughed. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. The unspeakable thing you saw through his looking lens. Oh, before you go, here, take this teleporter pyramid. A handy toy. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but alas, I seem to have misplaced it. Don't worry. Now that this matter has been settled, Hunters, I shall detain you no longer. But rest assured, I'll do my share of hunting too. So if you spot a
Garbage.
Good day to you.
You hypocrites and traitors! I thought Saw Sunchers were supposed to help the people, not not lure them into crime and punishment.
Undead at every exit! Oh.
Sorry, but I haven't the time for chatter. These days, a moment's inattention is all a thief needs to snatch my livelihood out from under me. You're a strange guppy, telling that man to snatch my stock and then turning him in. I'm glad to have my wares back, but I would have preferred for him not to have taken it at all. Sorry, but I haven't the time for chatter. These days, a moment's inattention is all a thief needs to snatch my livelihood out from under me.
Brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
What are ye staring at? Captain Jack's the name, though the title may be a little generous at the moment. Those scallywags heard there be silver in the Lacula mines, and they abandoned ship like the lily-livered turkeys they are. Some poor chaps lost their ship and want some work. Just send 'em to me, and tell 'em there's a bit of coin and a lot of rum coming their way if they don't mind a bit of a...
Tomatoes.
I'm straight. I'm true. Harry's by the dozens.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
A good day to you.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
I'm telling you, a necromancer must be at work in Tyseal. How else do you explain risen dead
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies.
What'll you have? What'll you have? I'll get white cheese, blue cheese, old cheese, new cheese.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set.
Can't have gotten far.
Thank you. Thank you eternally for your help. Though your reaction to the healing stone, I have no idea what to make of it. I've been studying under Theleron for some time now, but that task, being asked to play the gods, was I've a passion for this work, you see. A passion to see things put in order. From a flesh wound healed, that strange reaction you caused. Blue lightning from a healing stone. I've never seen anything like it. And the stone looks different now, too. Hello again. Terribly sorry, Source Hunter, but I seem to be fresh out of priceless relics for you to destroy. I've been studying and I've a passion.
To what do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter? Yes. She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you... Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gotten far.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens. Worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn.
You there! A moment of your indulgence, if you please. You are the Source Hunter? No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. It is an intervention of fate. Yes, that's it. Fate has put Mendius at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be. Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become better.
Not in the mood for cheese. That excuse.
Quite right. Adventure is...
See here. You and I share the same passion. I never doubted it for a moment. The thrill of walking the unbeaten path. The rush of finding yourself in a goblin... too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The way...
Cheese? Tomatoes?
Yes, some extra...
Indeed. Indeed, gold is always welcome. And among them... Even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety? Without spice? To be a source hunter must get frightfully dreary sometimes.
You'll always stay menial with that attitude. Just what those trusted masters want.
You disagree with one another. But that proves you are firm-willed. That you have the minds of independence, not dependence. Admit, life's too short to spend it doing someone else's bidding. Am I right? Of course I am. And that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab, so that I could meet you and tell you... Ah, the fabulous 5. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most... You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course, if you still... What a gem of a question. Now then, to join the Fabulous 5 is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity, a sorority. Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous 5 and thereby draw new knights into our... By now, the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. It has, hasn't it? But did I say... Work hard. Fulfill contracts. Enlist new knights, and swiftly shall you rise through the ranks. They call the undead a problem, my friend. Ah, you'd like nothing more than to enlist. Of course, of course, of course. All...
And me! Me all the riches and...
Marvellous. Magnificent. Oh, but what am I saying? Fabulous is the word. You may not realize it yet, but your fortunes, your very life is about to change for the better. So let us not... Oh, it's a pretty straightforward task, this one. Now, in this town dwells a wizard. Ahu is his name, and he's a frightful eccentric. Scientific type, you know the kind. Favors reason over faith and all that. Not one of them was a big lumbering apparatus. A frightful automaton shaped like a giant made of steel. But you can guess what happened. Did it become sentient? Was it cursed? Whatever the cause, the thing relieved itself of its pilot and headed north towards a network of caves. Now ask you, luckily there are those in this world who belong to the Fabulous 5. The braves who eat such monstrosities for breakfast. Go, my friend. How fares your first quest, hero, and...
Doing more swirling than saffrons, I dare say.
Oh, my good man. Drink, if you please.
Please do,
Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information I don't have. I am the Duke of Ferrell. Though I suppose my name is in the mouths of enough ruthless gossipers, it's very tragic news. I won't posture and say that the Chancellor and I were anything near allies, but I Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for
Oh, my good man. Drink, you please.
Please do keep shouting if you like.
A source hunter! I'd like to report some dark magic. Only tainted hearts could tip as miserably as this lot. Been at the King Crab nearly 10 years now, personally. Seen every character you can imagine, from bums to wizards, passed through these doors for a pint and a place to rest.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom.
I think I'm one of the last folks to hear him alive. That awful scream has been ringing in my ears ever since. And with the room where it all happened still under quarantine, we've a constant reminder of though that's the question, isn't it? What exactly did happen? We all thought it was Esmeralda who checked into that room, and the Duke that followed her in. I was washing up and nudging the last of the lushes out of the door when a cloaked woman rushed in right past me. I never got a good look at her, damn my eyes, but I figured the way she disappeared that she was visiting one of the lodgers. Lucky for the perpetrators, I was rinsing bottles in the back when the terrible deed took place and saw nothing more. I'm not proud to say I ducked under the counter and damn well stayed there till I heard Ivad fling that door open. But I was paralysed with fright.
Back, demon! Back, or I'll... Well, what's this? Oh, Medora, you lummox. I'll tell you, it sure does me good to set eyes on another of our order. From Academy West, aren't you? Give Captain Wartruce my regards next time you see him. You wouldn't. I trained up in Academy North, after all. We don't cross paths with you Westies all that often. But it's all... Medora's the name. Retired. Or so the Order keeps trying to tell me, but never out of commission. My hand to your cause and my sword at your side. Heavens hornets! That's quite a story, comrade. And see, I'm here on... well, let's call it a loan from a town to the north of here. There's been an attack there, comrade. Orcs. Not your run-of-the-mill savages, either. What they want in Hunter's Edge, I can't say. But it's my responsibility to send them packing. Preferably with their horns in their suitcases and a knee-knocking fear of ever crossing. I came south seeking the Legion's help, only to find it tied here in Sicile. They don't have a spare soldier to send northward, and even in my finest form, I can't clear the place of that many orcs without backup. By the skin of my teeth, comrade. The savages were rounding up villagers when one of them activated a tripwire on our village wizard's property. Fortunately for me, that particular wizard has a penchant for things that go boom in the night. I managed to wrench free of my captor's grip and flee toward the forest. He pursued me for miles, but I'd lost him before I made it into the Sicile hinterlands. Well, comrade, I hadn't thought of it till you tapped my shoulder just now. I need a contingent I can trust if I'm to take back the town. And the way I see it, I've been scouting Sicile for some time now, and I believe I've sussed out sufficient intel to help solve the murder of the Counselor. With our minds and swords in tandem, we'll make short work of the perpetrator. More than I'd hoped, comrade. I don't know what in tarnation's gotten into the townsfolk here, but there's enough dark magic running roughshod. There's Mayor Cecil's doings, for one, and the mysteries of our master. And on top of it all, the feline menace is lurking at every hearth and shadow. You mean you don't already know, comrade? Their kind can see in the dark. It ain't natural. Fella seems like a humble doctor, but I bet my sword he's a loose-lipped fishmonger let slip that she'd seen our good doctor scale the city wall on 2 separate occasions, well past midnight each time. What business? Hardly the habit of an innocent healer. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the mayor's a decent sort, even if he can't hear farther than the tip of his own. But from what I've heard whispered around the docks, the old guy's gotten himself mixed up in something not quite... I suspect an illegal sauce, artifact, or substance is at the root of it, but exactly what or who's given it to him, I can't say. And since I haven't technically been assigned... Well, you know the old expression. 2's a tea party, 3's an invasion. I know this place like the back of my hand by now.
Say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt.
Getting ourselves caught up in an entangling alliance will hinder more.
By the demon's tomb, I never thought I'd live to see a sauce hunter dismiss an eager comrade. That's well, you're lucky we Northies have a certain expression. Better to do right this.
What have we here? A source hunter, is it? Well, my day just became rather more stimulating. Tall as an elf, strong as an orc, but your face... quite classical, isn't it? And my word, what passion burns from your eyes. Please forgive my being forward, but I dare say, can it be? Well, you're exactly the person I've been searching for.
Oh, my good man. Drink.
I am Anna. Jewel. I've cut 1,000 throats and baked 1,000 bread rolls. Stolen the crown jewels of the Queen of Iraq. When the day comes that I die, the gods will evacuate the heavens to make space for my form. I contain multitudes, you see, and I am utterly replete. Except that, much to my dismay, I had as yet to find the companion to whom my heart so clearly calls.
Waiting for what, exactly?
I'll thank you to leave me be.
But then, Source Hunter, you wandered into this tavern, and that I have. For nearly a lifetime, it seems. Well, I'm sure you must know what I mean. Like existence itself lacked a significant component. Like if you could only fill a certain void, could connect with the right I believe I have found that component, that body, that spirit within you, Source Hunter. Come, if ever we are to be united. Yes, you must join the Fabulous Five right away, as soon as time permits. Together, so you've joined up. You've sworn I can finally offer you our finest adventuring equipment at Well, you must be thrilled to find yourself a member of a team so widely renowned for its valor and skill. And you must be even more curious about how you yourself can suit up to face such enemies as a member of the Fabulous Five. I hear you've been tasked with taking out that crazed robot in the Northern Cave. I'm sure you... Ah, darling, that was so long ago now. Who can remember who said what after all this time? What matters is the here and now. And in this moment, well, you are a member of the eminent Fabulous Five.
Sorry, I've run out of signed handkerchiefs. An Alistair keyring, maybe. In any case, make it quick. You're not the only fan who wants some of my time. What do you mean, not familiar? You expect me to believe you've... Why, I'm only the most famous wizard this side of the distance. Although, and don't forget, I'm the most eminent member of the Fabulous Five to boot. Surely you already know we've been voted the most influential adventurers guild by... Well, you're far from my caliber, but who isn't? It's good you're eager, but let me give you a word of warning. Aim for my spot, and your career... You'll be dealing with Ahu's little abomination, will you? I'd go myself, but I'd fear I'd end the fight before anyone else if I don't leave a few crumbs for the newbies once in a while. They'll accuse me of stealing the spot. Those nasty beasts are hardly worth my time. Though I suppose I'll step in if none of the recruits manage to prove adept and... Really now, I can't afford to indulge in chit...
I've got my eye.
Ah, pointless chatter with strangers does so thrill me. How did you know? Please continue interrupting my drink if you'd be so kind. How curious of you to show interest in a lonesome stranger at the bar. Let me answer by saying that who I am is hardly... So you've wrangled a position in the Fabulous Five, have you? I'm fairly brimming with enthusiasm at the prospect of calling you a partner. You'd better leave. You've been sent after Ahu's insane robot, I understand. Do you imagine that...
Zimbladorix! That! Ha! Quite
Under me? You mean you don't recognize me? Yes, that is strange. Strange indeed. But if... Oh, you'll find out.
You'll be concerned enough when you realise that reward money won't be lining your pockets. I have a
Greetings, traveller, and may the Immaculate Conduit's myriad blessings comfort and cradle you. Tell me, have you yet heard the revelation?
Oh, my good man.
What's in a name, dear friend? For we all begin equal in the Conduit's eyes, and only through great... You mean you haven't heard? Oh, what fortune that I may share the goddess's salvation. Steel yourself, friend, for your mortal spirit could be forever transformed by following her instructions and becoming initiated into the one way we can each of us live on for a span greater than the... She came from on high to we mortals and showed us She showed us that injury and malady need not mark the end of life, but that through her... for this hallowed information, you must seek an immaculate chapel. Go north, there, among her followers, and go on the path to the right.
When I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Greetings, Source Hunter. I don't mean to hinder your investigation.
Oh, my good man.
Hearty welcome to the King Crab Inn, and a pleasure to have you. You look like you could use the name's Ivad. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I've been offering the weary travellers of Sicil drink and rest for nearly 2 decades now, but the King Crab's older than that by a long shot. All you see before you is the manifestation of my great-grandpappy Horatius. Well, between you and me, things have been rather slow since the, incident. But with spirits high and liquor flowing like it is tonight, it seems the crab may just come... Mind if we keep our voices down over that sensitive subject? That room where it happened, it was rented to a certain woman, though I regret to say I can't say exactly who. This inn isn't in the business of... She came heavily cloaked, but paid the full sum in advance. I was used to such transactions after many similar concerning a certain Esmeralda. I saw one other figure go into the room that night. Someone tall, built broad like a man, but shrouded the same as she. Again, standard practice for Mrs. I was startled awake by a horrendous hubbub shortly after midnight. I jumped up and grabbed me grandpappy's machete. By the time I burst into that room, it was horribly silent. There was only Jake on the floor. Whoever done it has escaped through the window. But I saw nary a soul when I looked out. You can bet I hightailed it to the Legion barracks faster than a jackrabbit after that. Councillor Jake, that poor man. I knew too much about his affairs, you know. Never figured it my business to say any. Esmeralda's longest-standing lover has the audacity to remain lodged at this very inn, you know. He's called the Duke of Ferrol, a high title for a low man. If you haven't yet asked him about Esmeralda, I'd recommend it. 3 hopeless sailors. Truly wish I could help.
Ha! The closest I've come to my match is when I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's growing more swirling than saffrons.
Leave me be, I've a job to do.
Greetings, greetings. Oh, you are most welcome in my chamber. Customers rarely find me up here, but I do so abhor the hustle and bustle of the marketplace. That I am. I have spent more of my life on the road travelling alongside great caravans than I have in any given place in Rivellon. All of this earth is my home, for a few days or even but a few hours at a time. You wouldn't believe some of the things I have seen. Oh yes, a city besieged by the dead isn't even remotely special to me. All the better that it... You have seen them, have you not? Is anything amiss? A punch-on, perhaps, yes. I have the blood of sorcerers in my veins, and between you and me, the blood of sorcerers too. The power of sorcery is so very alluring, you know. But let us change topics, for should hunters catch a whiff of my inclinations, they would...
And neither am I. Be advised, though, not to give in to your inclinations. Other hunters may not be so...
God have mercy! I talked openly about sorcery in front of a source hunter. What a fool I am. Thank you, O compassionate soul that you are, to treat me so leniently. I never have and never will really dabble in sorcery. On that you have my word. On my life, I swear it. No need to worry, source hunter dearest. You'll find no sorcery here. Only honest to God. How gratifying to see you return. You are quickly becoming my favorite customer.
Undead at every exit. Orcs upon the hub.
Undead at every...
Let's see. Key, lockpick, or hammer?
Oh, my good man. Drink, if you please.
Please do keep shouting.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
Do I seem like the
I'll
sort
tell
of-
you, it sure does me good. Hunter's greetings. So, have you changed your mind about venturing forth? Shield to shield?
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice 'em, stir and churn!
Well, Mayor Cecil will be happy to see the likes of a source hunter.
A source hunter will always receive a warm welcome at the town hall.
Let us say it.
Meow.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer? My ears aren't what they used to be. My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Sicil, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Sicil through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times. Oh, what? Oh, you mean Sicil? Very difficult times indeed. As though the death of Jake, and by source magic no less, weren't enough. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making a habit of savage... That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such sticking its... And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought. A weapon called the Staff of Pergamon. Jake, murdered? Oh, yes. Yes, now I recall. Indeed. I could hardly believe it myself. The Council and I have certainly had our differences over the years, but most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, as you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrol was always a bit, suggestive. An all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Sicil is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Counselor. What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. What of what now? You mean the staff of Pergamon. Yes. I was expecting a ship. Cecil proved an old fool, though. For the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me. His name is Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Sicil harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved. The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead. Well, I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose you see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather nice, oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the 7th sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Sicil's under siege by orcs, son. That depends. What kind of berries are you into? The library. Yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of marvelous.
A source hunter? Oh, what me? I live alone here in town. Used to be that my younger brother Tom and I were practically joined at the hip, but that's all changed now. Oh, he's always been something of a rascal, calling his petty hooliganism adventuring and endlessly worried. For my part, I encouraged him to join the Legion. Even got him sparring with Captain Aureus now and then. But then that band of... I don't even know what to call them. Well, they're his heroes, and I simply couldn't...
What? Oh, yes. My Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine, and she's got every speck of information. Yes. Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of claws and teeth I had. What? Oh, yes. I'll be on my way back downstairs now. Please introduce...
The Lesser Key of Sadakandras. Ugh, what nonsense.
Place this book here.
Is there no Omnes Autem Mali? What? What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps I was mistaken. No. A source hunter. That is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery. A chaser of charms pernicious. In truth, I cannot go so far as to say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, for I take no pleasure in the company of man. But it may just be to our... Why, simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. You are aware, of course, that quite often both of these pests frequent... Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. Let there be on one condition. That on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities, no matter how tempting their propositions. Give me your word.
The knight in see-through armor?
Princess Buttercup with the blushing...
You speak before your turn. I, for one, am not ready to...
Oh, simple souls. Oh, doomed spirits. What tangled... The Source Hunter. No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for.
Princess
The
Buttercup.
pseudomonarchy.
Hello again, adventurer. I hope you wiped the...
Most
Esmeralda
promising.
does have a propensity for all things in the name of Amun-Hor. I bid thee Tujda Geta Hal. Be welcome, human. My library is yours. I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't... When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicile. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amun-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled. He raised me like I was his own. This kindest of souls taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride.
The lesser key of Sadakandras. Ugh, what nonsense.
Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you.
I've got my eyes on the prize.
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum. And the first edition, too. Most promising.
Knight in see-through armor. Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom. Stenteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she?
The lesser key of Sadakandras. Ugh, what nonsense. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart.
The seven grant abundance!
The knight in see-through armor. Princess Buttercup with the
this
blushing
isn't the grimoire I'm looking for.
Esmeralda does
The
have
Encyclopedia
a propensity for all things
Daemonium.
naughty,
I
hasn't
know
she?
it by heart.
Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry.
The lesser
novels?
key of
Oh,
Sadakandras. Ugh,
mayhem.
what nonsense. Is there no new book to be discovered in this library? Demonology for dumbbells.
Volume 1,
Ugh,
Volume
I
2.
need something more
Where's
advanced.
the third one gone?
The Encyclopedia Daemonium.
think these books
I
got
know
little
it
legs,
by
they might.
heart. The lesser key of Sadakandras. Ugh, what nonsense. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum.
Place this
And the
book here.
first edition, too.
A volume of poetry
Most
among
promising.
novels? Urak! What mayhem.
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh, I need something more advanced. Is there no new book to be discovered in this library?
Kajdanor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Theleron will have to pay yet another fine.
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum. And the first edition, too. Most promising.
Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem.
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh, I need something more advanced.
What? Oh, it's you! What news? No, all my clothes are in fine condition, thanks. I've been going to the same tape, Maxine. What in heaven's name are you... Oh, I spent months trying to teach that worthless hound how to fetch, and it sat through everything. I've always been more fond of cats myself. Oh, yes, the Fabulous Five. Aren't they? That machine Ahu built is an abomination. It must be stopped at all costs. I bet the wizard himself could provide... My dear girl. I introduced her to my library when she was a girl. If you're looking for something special, just ask. She knows every book by heart. Papa's smart little cookie.
Made a big change on your rope with a wheel of the Gustav.
Baking like a cake.
Better to evacuate this place while there's still some left to save, I say.
I'm warm as fresh apple
there's
pie.
my pepper. Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah.
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that...
Have you found us a job yet? We'll take anything. So there's a captain offering booze and brass for a bit of crate loading? God.
Captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride.
No, it ain't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the youthful gore?
Potent heat!
Better to evacuate this place while there's still some left to see. Baking like a cake.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Move along. Leave me be, I've a job to do.
Legion's greetings. I have been informed about your heroics on the beach. Were that I had been there to partake in the battle. But my duties lie here. Sworn as I am to protect Lady Es, I am Septimus, 7th son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Sicile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in so fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend. And I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. Steadfast will I guard her, Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. Jake's murder is, in a word, a tragedy. He was well loved in all of Sicile. The Council of Seven couldn't have wished for a better ambassador. That he of all people... And what questions are those? Tragedy flocks to this place, like goblins to a boar carcass. None of us guessed, when we were assigned to Sicile, that we were about to embark on a year's... Proper soldiers shouldn't be ordered to fight such unnatural abominations. We used to cut them limb from limb by the dozen, only to see a gross of them rise from the ground and stalk out of long-abandoned cellars.
So tell me, Septimus, would your wife or sweetheart be compensated by the Legion should tragedy...
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate? I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same. Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh, I think I'm getting one of my...
Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Dear Jake, do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? Something that may have gotten him into trouble? Oh, this is all too much. Well, what do you want to know?
Never imagined that finding a quarter pound of mouldy, moth-eaten flour would be a cause for celebration in this city. How?
Praise be that Arhu the wizard has the wits about him to build these newfangled weapons of his, or Sicile would have been the very throne of decay by now. Because of him, life here is almost bearable again, despite the walking dead, though it's rather eerie and perplexing at the same time to think...
Adamant about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
Looking good.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine. Let us see if you can choose the finest green.
Thank the Seven, we've secured the perimeter.
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Not the mood for cheese. An excuse is more home than a slice of this fine Norman
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies size seals ever seen.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Lonesome? Spiritless?
About time!
Sauce hunters, eh? All right, if you've got a favourite sheep, best to fry her up now before she gets thieved in the night. Now that the herd's gone, old Bertie's just scratching by like a hen till the next batch of beasties comes through. I recently sold most of the tender loves to a trader heading north. Plenty of business that way these days. Those miners must be Yes. Oh, Ogget's been missing for more than a fortnight. I love that sheep, you know. Was planning to cook her into a fine midwinter night haggis myself. Do tell me if you hear anything about her. I plan on
Solution to the zombie problem, set of silver arrows.
Performers, showmen, show all of them. Siseal, what you're made of.
1 coin or 2, noble Oh, I am a happy man, and certainly a a fool once was I, and ever seeking greater satisfaction than that which I already enjoyed. In my folly, I sought the counsel of those notorious Watcher statues. I'd heard they were not to be trusted, that they gave fools advice to the fools who sought them, but they told me that I would find fame and renown if I renounced my worldly possessions. All my worldly possessions. Fire, the most thorough cleanser, was my method. But as my house burned in front of me, I felt no elevation, no piety, only the sudden weight of my own idiocy upon my very soul. May the soul of Astarte smile upon you, kind stranger. May the Seven bless you, most generous friend. Have some pity.
Sorry, sir.
Source Hunter's here too? Well, if the
Sir! No, sir!
Come on now, I pulled her up.
So, those statues told him he'd have to renounce his earthly possessions to become a spiritual leader, did they?
Nuts!
It's not as bad as all that.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian
Some of the richest people in the world are also some of the most miserable. Gold...
Attention!
In that case, you'll have the
About
pleasure of putting her down
this!
yourself.
It never ends around here.
The beast speaks. See you half a brain behind that feral maw. Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but we got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged.
Bit Tull you right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds.
Nuts! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew.
That's a mighty big if. We can't have one of our team wandering off into the wilds when we need her to be watching our back.
Can't say I'm surprised. You wouldn't want an untamed thing like that sleeping next to you at night. Now it's for us.
If I've got my say, we'll take...
You think that's funny, Private?
Sir! No, sir!
Ice blue eyes, narrow beneath a heavy brow streaked with sweat and dust. Her hand...
Her brow knits together, but something in her pose relaxes. I am Bear Daughter. I have not come here to find trouble with the Screech woman. She only... And you are a source hunter. I have heard this woman here, the one who now plots her revenge. She crept behind me while I was hunting, and I only defended myself. I would not hurt an innocent Screech woman but soon their swords were upon me, and they forced me into this cage meant for dogs. Mother would rip the fur.
Say, Source Hunter, do you reckon the vendor's got any lard?
Well, that's to be decided.
That's a mighty...
Can't say I'm...
If I've got my... She may have the... We got report. I tap...
Bit Tully...
Enjoy it while you can.
Sir.
Attention!
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Good luck out there, Hunter. Evil lurks beyond Sicil's ramparts.
No dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face furious. She bit me in the face.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly'll be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
Sorry,
In
sir.
that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
Sir! No, sir!
The cretin's question crossed her lips and ached an ear of apple.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sicil, but don't... I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Sicil, by which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother, but he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some... The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you must... Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And how am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Sisal stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners. I'd say they're looking for weak spots in our defences. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows... Ah, the Source Hunter. Oh, joyous...
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Quiet! No talk!
Excuse me, Grabby Gus. This is elite.
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter. But certainly. What would you like? Oh, I am but a wizard. My task, you see, to my great regret, none of them purr as yet. Oh, that'll never happen. Granted, a witch could make the polymorph. I'm my own wizard, you know, and I don't intend to become anyone's familiar. By all means. I can't say much more, but that they're madmen. Or...
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly'll be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
I wish for you to try it, Screech woman.
Again! The beast speaks? So you've half a brain behind that feral maul, have you?
The cretin's question crossed her lips and ached an ear of...
Source Hunter. A sight for... I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be told, we've been conducting a series of expeditions into undead territory, and I'm afraid I must admit they've met with very little success. Lieutenant Selenia, at your service. I'm Captain Aureus' second-in-command, but rest assured I am a lot more kindly inclined towards Source Hunter. Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition, and even rivalry between our orders, but I, for one, have no intention of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that is exactly what your presence in Sicil is, Source Hunter. A gift and a blessing. Only heroes such as yourself, the undead. I pitied them at first. Many among them were once kind and innocent civilians of Sicil after all. The bravest among my men and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east. So I suggest you head westward if you want to flex your muscles and test the waters before blindly diving to your death. I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you. If ever we want to be victorious in Sicil, we have to track down the root of the undead uprising. Under the Pact of Volunteers, three landmarks were chosen for further investigation. The lighthouse, the burial mounds, and there's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No man has gone there in a decade, and yet a light shines from its pinnacle every night. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not those are mere tall tales. I fear for this. There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the source. The Sicilians razed it, and built a church for the seven instead, supposedly to symbolize the victory of the gods. All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first spotted. So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment they make it back from a mission. The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my soldiers are free to volunteer.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Ah, come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face serious.
Never.
Fire!
Tell me, Alison, have you ever had the
Glorious to what's in a neck. Go on the...
Greetings, Source Hunter. Not exactly the friendliest bloke, the captain, is he? Well, you're a...
Into the fray once more.
One man's trash is another man's trash. Looking good. It's official. The Duke of Ferrol is the worst poet in Rivellon.
In his defense, not much rhymes with murder. Source was in play here, all right. But that doesn't solve the mystery.
I think it would be wise to inspect the councillor's courts and see what clues we can find.
Be lining your pockets.
Ho, my good man. Drink if you please.
Please do keep shouting in my ear.
Tell me,
cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
So you're just hanging around the inn, are you? Waiting for what, exactly?
Oh, thank you for DVD.
Let us see if you can choose the finest green.
Well, if I say it, I've got my eye.
Lay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
It is said.
Fantastic!
My word! Thanks to Seven, we've secured the perimeter.
Ah, cruel fortune.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private?
Sir! No, sir!
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
What do you think you're doing? There's every need, you damn... Ah, the Source Hunter. Oh, joyous hour. What about it?
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter.
I can't even smell the sea air over
God, duty's not so bad, hey?
Would be quite a bit better if I could do it in peace.
Just making conversation, mate.
Mate, he says. We are colleagues, nothing more.
Come now, it's just a turn of phrase.
Will you please turn your phrases elsewhere?
You there! Cut it out!
It's of orc stench.
You there! Cut it out!
We'll have none of that, you hear?
For all our shakes.
She wouldn't hurt a fly. And I won't let you hurt a horn on her head.
Ah, who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that.
Maybe before the great orc raid we had time to indulge Ninius's idiotic
Excuse my friend's violent outbursts. He hasn't enjoyed a...
Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw shanked...
My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see? Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had the presence of mind. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress.
Ha! I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my...
Ah, I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I sent away for the world-famous love potion, available for a limited time only, and
You see what a fool my friend has been, spending all his cash on snake oil and bringing a temporarily
What kind of monster would lie in a published advertisement? I'm sure the effects of the potion will be everlasting.
You see? He'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed...
You would trust a quack magazine from Youthful Gore? She's clearly liable to snap at any minute.
This place reeks of orc stench.
If you are the only thing that stands between me and eliminating this threat, you won't stand long.
All right, we'll do it your way.
Glad to hear I'm not the only...
No! She's
You
bastard! You had no right!
No right to protect not only you from your own stupidity, but myself and the citizens of Seal as well.
It's you we need protection from, murderer. Fortunately, the Wizards of Youthful Gore make a revenge elixir that will show you what's what.
Go ahead and throw your sugar water on me if you like. Your foolishness is
That's
no
enough of that now!
You stranger. If you ever need help, I'll do my best to repay you.
Makes sense, sir. God, duty's not...
I can't even smell the sea air.
Sail, shiver me timbers and sliver me heels. I used to see orcs in every shadow when I had to...
I can't even smell the sea air over this rock.
Yes? I've work to do. I thought the old gal's fate was sealed when the orc shaman set his fiery gaze on her sails.
Yeah.